Last night in Game 1 of the I-70 series, Danny Duffy was dazzling in 6 shutout innings, and Alex Gordon and Mike Moustakas had big hits to break a close game open and give Kansas City a 6-0 win. Now the Royals hand the ball to James Shields, hoping for a St. Louis sweep. It's the Royals and Cardinals next. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. From St. Louis, Missouri, it's the Battle of the Show Me State with the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler with you. Last night's victory surrounded great pitching and timely hitting. And about the pitching, Danny Duffy's command of his fastball was outstanding. He said anytime he fell behind with the breaking ball, he could get back in the count with the heater.
Yeah, but it was the location of the heater that was so good. He was not missing up in the zone. Therefore, it kept his pitch count down. They weren't fouling balls off. He was using his defense. He pitched. That's the Danny Duffy we hope to see next.
And how about the timely hitting? Dale Sweem's only been with us a week as the hitting instructor, but we saw some growth yesterday from Gordon and from Moustakas.
It's starting to happen. You've got to be patient. You've got to hunt your pitch. And early in the season, it seemed like the hitters were swinging off the plate. They weren't swinging at their pitches, and they weren't able to barrel or have any success. Now, last night, see the ball up. Look what you can do. When it's elevated and you catch your pitch, get some backspin on it, you can get some instant runs. Now, Moose, watch this. Okay, low pitch was a low strike, but he wasn't hunting that pitch. He wants it up. So in the same at-bat, he stayed inside the ball and drove it nicely in big-time fashion. The team needed a lift, and they got it from Moose. That's the kind of approach they're going to continue to stay with, and they'll be successful.
The Royals hope to have that same recipe tonight. Garcia will throw for St. Louis against the Royals' James Shields as the Royals look to sweep in St. Louis. 1 ERA. But Rex Hudler, National League ballpark, which means he gets to swing the bat.
Yeah, you know what? And by all observations, he doesn't look too shabby. He's got a decent approach. He learned that from Longoria, that stance, I'm telling you. But he's quick to the ball and wants to add on to that career batting average of 186. Hope it gets it done.
He's looking for win number 7 tonight. He's 6-3 with a 3.36 ERA.
Keep it down. Just use the defense, just like Duffy did last night. Great example from a young pitcher passing the baton to a veteran. Let's see what big game James can do.
James Shields against Jaime Garcia on the hill tonight. Salvador Perez taking BP, and Joel Goldberg will talk 2 great Gold Glove catchers when we come back. Perez of the Royals and Yadier Molina of the St. Louis Cardinals as the I-70 series continues.
Yadier Molina makes his major league debut. St. Louis at Pittsburgh. He went 2 for 4 in the game, playing catcher, and all these years later, a perennial Gold Glover. How about Salvador Perez? August 10th, 2011, he made his debut at 21 years old. Picked off 2 Tampa Bay Rays in that game. Had 5 putouts. First hit, first major league RBI, and he now, too, has a Gold Glove in the big leagues at a very young age. And in comparing these 2 catchers, Salvador Perez says that Yadier Molina is his idol. 24 years old for Salvi, 31 for Yadi, and those are their nicknames. Salvi and Yadi, both of them made their major league debuts at 21, and in Salvador's case, he won his first Gold Glove in his 3rd season. Molina won his first in his 5th. They're both all-stars, and Molina is thought of as being the best catcher in all of the major leagues. Joel Goldberg here at Busch Stadium. A lot of admiration between these catchers who were very accomplished at a young age, and now Molina has been doing it for so many seasons. Known first and foremost for their defense, and both of their managers are former catchers. In the case of Mike Matheny, he thinks the best is yet to come for Salvador Perez because he saw Molina take great strides in his 4th season.
about that time when Yachty started to figure himself out and really kind of break the mold of trying to be either like his brothers or anybody else he's watched and be himself. And I think that's really when the freedom he had took off to be as good as he can be. But Salvador's a good hitter right out of the box. We knew he had a lot of power, throws the ball exceptionally well, and you can see that he's taken on some leadership characteristics behind the plate. And I guess those are kind of all those attributes that you would throw on Yachty to where you would see that there's a good comparison between the two.
You could tell that he had that type of ability where he could catch and throw and completely can handle a running game like Molina could when he first came up. Had leadership qualities in him. You could see it early.
In the case of Yachty or Molina, when he made his debut, he did so because Mike Matheny went on the disabled list. And Matheny said, I knew my career was not going to be in good shape after that. Both catchers set to take the field. Coming up next.
That was good stuff, Joel. Very good.
How are we supposed to...
Kansas City Chevy dealer. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Kansas City Chevy dealers. By the Missouri Lottery. Try the Missouri Lottery's new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Welcome back to St. Louis and Busch Stadium. A crowd of over 40,000 watched last night's game. The Royals won by a final score of 6-0. And Ned Yost will send pretty much the same lineup as last night. Aoki, Infante, Hosmer, with Billy Butler getting the seat in a National League ballpark. Alex Gordon and Salvador Perez 3 for 4 last night.
Yeah, they got a different guy in that 9-hole down there. That guy James Shields, ooh, he could play a big part in tonight's game, especially if he does his thing. Now forget about what he does with the bat. He might be able to help move a runner or so. You never know. But he's got to go up there and throw strikes like this guy does.
Jaime Garcia seems to be healthy from right shoulder problems he had the last 2 years, a 1-0 record this year. He missed the first 6 weeks because of that left shoulder problem, and you see his numbers against the Royals.
Yeah, he's been really good, though. He struck out 19 and